What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 8 of the Jaime and Jay podcast. We apologize for coming on late, but at least we showed up, right? Better to show up than not show up at all. Today's topic will be consistency. And that is the main reason why this still happened, because it would be pretty fucked up not to do the consistency podcast when we haven't missed a week yet, so
Yeah. You wanna let's get this going because I need some
crack this open to get some good vibes,
good vibes.
Okay, so it has been a good week. Louis in the chat.
Shout out.
Today might have been a little fucked up, and that's
was.
why we're starting late, but we decided to still, the show must go on. So our topic today is gonna be why consistency beats out talent, beats out motivation. It beats out everything, really. I think mainly we started this for, to kind of check ourselves. And a big portion of that is to keep going. And especially right now, because we're in the car business, I think that our goals that we set 1 month have to get reset Our goals that we set have to get reset every single month with our sales. Right, so we're kind of like in this constant hamster wheel of having to be consistently good. You can have one good month, and then the next month if you drops off, nothing that you did the other month matters. So you have to consistently be great in the car business, right? And then you can also have a good first half, and I think that's definitely going on right now. We're about we have 2 more weeks of the month left.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for once, right, to get into our sales goals, because we're actually pacing right now, right? We're on track to be successful. But we do have to be consistent. Everything that we did in the first half of the month, we have to do it again. If we get complacent, then we definitely will fall off.
I think I think I just need to acknowledge I'm probably not in the right headspace right now. I don't think either one of us are, to be honest. I think I need
Sorry if it's a bad episode.
Yeah, well, not even that. I think it's I told Jay too before, I know it was kind of setting in both of our heads. I kind of maybe we shouldn't do this today, and then I told myself, I was it's better to suck than to quit. And I'm not saying quit the podcast, but it's just if I don't even try today, we're literally we have a podcast about being better, and if I'm not gonna show up, every single time, I'm like, man, I'm just I'm setting the wrong example, right, of the things that we shouldn't do. I think it's been, man, head's super cloudy. It's just been a real just frustrating day overall.
That's important though, no, right? Still doing it whenever you're fucked up, whenever you don't want to. I mean, that's more important. We talk about the gym a lot here. I think that it's a big thing, going to the gym whenever you don't feel like it. And the same concept goes in everything in life, right? Showing up at work whenever you don't feel like it, and then us, showing up to the podcast whenever we're kind of we're maybe not in the as positive of a headspace as we usually are, is super, not that we're not excited, but both of us are going through personal things at the exact same time, right?
Exact same time.
Yeah.
Exact same time.
So I was definitely in a headspace where I'm like, fuck, I don't even know if I can calm my situation down enough for us to get into the podcast. And while I'm trying to calm everything down, Jaime's waiting for me, and he's just going up and up and up, and I'm like, fuck, it feels like nobody can calm down right now. But we still showed up anyway, right? And I think that's the most important thing. But then I full send anyways.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes I don't feel like drinking. Yeah, right. Sometimes we don't feel like doing the things that we love. I mean, I wouldn't recommend drinking, right? Not that you can't have fun or whatever, but if you don't feel like drinking, you shouldn't.
I think there's a time and place for everything, right? I think I don't remember what episode it was, but I think I just kept on thinking about we had talked about it on a previous episode. I think at the time I didn't remember what it was called, but I know for a long time there's a video in my camera roll it's saved. It's under my favorites, right? And then I looked back and I finally found it. and it was from like years ago, but it's like the law of accumulation, right? So nothing in your life is neutral, right? So you're either moving towards your goals or you're moving away from your goals. Every single thing you do, every step you take, you're either going to move towards it or away from it, right? So I very much told myself, man, I was pissed, right? I told you, I was like, you know what, bro, never mind. I took off. I was down the street, and then he was like, are you sure? And I was like, you know what, let me pull over. I'm good.
Bro, and I felt kind of bad because I thought you were mad at me, and maybe like part of you was that I was taking so long.
I think it was just mad in general.
And I was just like, fuck, like, you know, and I was trying to get my situation sorted out, but I couldn't. And
no, and I think it was also too like both the situations together didn't make it any better. But I definitely think if we wouldn't have done it today, and we would have made that excuse a little easier, I think the next time the excuses would have been a lot easier to make too. And I think it's better that we at least do this, right? It's better to suck than to quit. So I'm glad we're doing this, right? I think it's when the motivation leaves, like, that we have to be consistent, you know.
And we've talked about it before too, that we have to show up during these times because there are going to be emergencies. And you know, we are talking about the podcast, but if you're listening to this, I mean, hopefully this translates to everything in your life. You know, like sometimes you're not going to feel like wanting to go to the gym because, you know, personal things going on in your life, but if you show up anyway on those days, like, it won't be as bad for the days where, like, you absolutely can't, right? Because emergency shit is going to happen. You know, eventually there is going to be a Sunday that we probably miss because, you know, it was unavoidable.
Yeah.
And I've even talked to you about, too, like, if, let's say, like, I had to go out of town or something, like, fuck, like, I would kind of prep you. And if we have to have, like, a sitting guest, we'll have a sitting guest on a week, you know, and vice versa. If you couldn't make it one time, it's like, fuck, like, okay, we'll just have to grab somebody else for the week, so that way the podcast still goes on, you know.
Might have to put Louis on the
camera. We might have to have Louis replace me one episode or something. But it definitely, there's always gonna be shit that comes up. So whenever you can avoid, I guess the word, like, avoid the emergencies. Am I saying that right?
Well, not even that. I think it's like not, there's going to be a reason to quit, and then there's times that you're just quitting just because it's uncomfortable. Yeah. Right? It's quitting. You're quitting because at that point it's not like it wasn't easy. Like, it just
would have been easier to not do the podcast.
Yeah, no, of course, right? But these are all things, like, I keep on telling myself, man, God, we have no one's going to chase my dream for me. No one's going to be consistent for me. No one's going to want me to be better more than I'm going to want myself to be better, you know? I think we all have goals in our life, and it's really like, how bad do you want it? I keep on telling everybody that, like, how bad do you want it? Okay, you want this, or you want that, like, but how bad do you want it? Do you just kind of want it, or do you really want it, right? And I think, man, I was really sitting there with myself, and I'm like, bro, like, am I really putting my pride and all this other stuff in the side, like, in the way, just to not do the podcast? I was like, man, let me turn around, let me do what I gotta do, right? And I think that's even a big step for me, right, too, because that's me being consistent, right? And putting my mind, what is it, mind over matter, right, or something like that, like, or getting my feelings out of the way, right, and doing it anyways. So there's a couple things we could say about it, right? But I think there's always been things that we have goals, we have aspirations, we have things in our life that we always try to put in the front of things. But, like, you know, life gets in the way. Life's not easy. Life's hard. Like, life's totally hard. Like, it's sometimes life does get in the way. But I think the more you can put what you need to do first, right, and stay disciplined, right, to what we have to do, I think the easier it gets, right? Especially
in the building stage too, right? You know, and I think this translates to everything. You know, whenever you're first starting off with something, that's when the consistency is the most important. Not that consistency isn't always important, but I think it's the most important whenever you're starting off. And we're just building the podcast. It's like, if we were 8 weeks into the gym, like, missing a week is a lot. You know, you haven't built that muscle memory yet. Now it's like, okay, yeah, if I miss a few days in the gym, I'm going to still go in there and do my same weight.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're first starting off in the gym and you take a week off, like, oh, you're fucked. All the progress that you made over the last month is gone. Like,
and you know what? I think to say this is like working out for me has been probably, like, the one thing that I've been the most consistent at. And because I mean, I always say like, oh, I have over a decade of experience, right? I remember working out in middle school, like in the gym. I remember like getting to my middle school a little bit early because one of the coaches would let us go work out in like a little weight room, right? And I just wanted it that bad. Like I would walk to school, maybe about 30, 45 minutes walking to school just to get there early just so I can work out. And man, I remember, I grew up right next to St. Mary's University. Right now, me and my brother would walk to the Gold's Gym off of Crossroads, right? So it was a good little walk, right? And there's parts of the walk that didn't have a sidewalk, so we were like kind of either walking on grass or the side of a road, and it's like probably not the most safe thing, right? But it's just like, how bad do you want it, you know? And there have been times where I've fallen off a little bit. But it's kind of like minimizing those steps back, you know, and trying to keep on pushing forward towards those goals, right? I've been working out since, man, like, I don't even, it really just depends on what we count as working out, but it's probably been the thing that I've been the most consistent at. And over the years, I've realized that I'll it's hard too though, because sometimes I think I've probably put the gym in front of other things that maybe might have been a little bit more important, but it's just one of those things. It's like I won't skip. Like I sometimes I have to remind myself to take a day off too, right? And I think we've talked about that too, because sometimes it smells like something's burning, right?
Right, yeah, bro. I was tripping out. I'm like, fuck. I'm looking around the room. Maybe it's incense outside there. Hopefully a fire doesn't happen, but
yeah. So it's definitely been something that has been pretty consistent. I mean, let me ask you: has there been anything in like your life that you've, or what's the thing in your life that you've been the most consistent of?
Nothing. I think consistency has always been my Achilles heel, and I would say the gym is probably the thing that I've been the most consistent, and I haven't even been that consistent in that. I make myself go work out, you know, like. Because I'm too scared to get fat. But I definitely wasn't as consistent in music as I would have wanted to be. I was consistent for a while in making music, you know, like I was making like 2-3 songs a week, but I was never consistent in like dropping music. And, I think that's something that killed me there, you know, and I definitely haven't been consistent in the car business, you know, like because
I don't think I haven't either.
I've been consistently average. You know. Oh, she said it's me. Okay. Yeah. So it's the incense burning. I've been consistently average, right, since I got to North Park. But it's not the kind of consistency that I would want to be, you know. And I think that definitely has held me back from a lot of my goals. And not to say that I haven't come far, you know, but I've come far from like burst, you know?
Yeah.
And I've always thought if I'm going to get rich, it's probably going to happen fast because of that. But I also am trying to set myself up right now for the long game. You know, maybe I do have to work consistently and consistently make like a good amount of money, and that accumulates over time, and then that's how I, accumulate my wealth. But a lot of the stuff that I've gotten in my life, or like me going far with something, have been in like burst. You know, like, I mean, you've seen us with like the podcast and stuff, like getting all of this stuff. It was quick, you know, like whenever I was doing my studio shit, like I had to get everything all at once. And it's because I made quick money so I can get everything all at once and then, you know, go on for it. I don't think that I've been consistent in anything in my life, and I think that's why I'm at where I'm at. Not to say that I'm not successful, but I'm definitely not in the place that I want to be at because I haven't stayed on something and hammered it down.
Yeah. So speaking from experience, I think the wins that come too easy are the ones that we lose just as easy. You know, I think.
Shout out DK.
I think the like same thing for like money, right? The easy money that comes is easy loss. You know, it's very much been like how do I say this? I think that if it comes easy, it goes easy, right? And I think that's like I think you almost appreciate it more if you work harder for it. So you learn how to keep it, you know? I think if people quit, like, especially like, let's just say in the gym, right? People quit because it gets hard, right? But then if you can push past that barrier, right?
The first few days I've seen so many people quit in the first few days, and it's because that first time like being sore is like fuck. And I've told people too, like, don't go push yourself. Like, just because you can do something in the gym, right? Don't go push yourself the first time you get back, because you're gonna be fucking sore for a week. You're not gonna want to come back. You know, I'm always like, if you're gonna get into the gym, like, take it like really, really slow. I tell people, I was like, maybe you shouldn't even be in the gym right away. Maybe you should just do like 10 push-ups at home.
I mean, I don't know about
You know,
that. You know?
if somebody hasn't worked out, I mean, to you, you've been working out since you were young, but I don't think you've ever like, yeah, I guess it's a unique experience that I don't think that you've gone through. But to somebody going back into the gym, bro, is like, fuck, like, you get someone really out of shape to do 10 push-ups, they're going to be sore for a few days from 10 push-ups, especially the big boys. You know what I mean? And so it's like they got to start off really, really small, because if they go in there and they try doing what you do, even like a fifth of what you do in there, they're either going to hurt themselves or they're going to be fucking sore to where like they literally can't go into the gym and, you know, be consistent because they worked too hard the first time. And I think that's, you know, the main topic is consistency. I think that if you started off with doing a little bit and then adding a little more, adding a little bit more, and adding a little bit more, it'll go a lot further than someone, you know, their first day going into the gym and fucking wanting to kill it and do every single workout, and then they crap out because they juiced out real quick, you know?
Yeah, I think like going like out of the many years I've been in the gym, right? I've seen a lot of homies that they either like it's like what you said, right? They start and then they for a few days, and then it just gets too hard because obviously like you're first working out, you're gonna be sore as shit. Like you're just gonna be
fucked.
Yeah. First time you do legs, like bro, like you're walking around stupid, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's very like I know if I don't hit legs consistently and then like I skip a couple leg days and then I hit it again, like I'm just gonna be walking dumb. I might hurt myself because I'm gonna step wrong or, you know, whatever, right? And that's me being in the gym like as many years as I've been. I've seen guys who go for a couple of days and then like obviously it gets a little hard and then they quit, right? But then I've also seen like the next level where guys go hard for a couple months, right? And then they get to a certain point, and then where they get to a certain point where they start seeing changes, right? And it becomes addicting, right? But then they hit that point where like you stop seeing progress, right? And then that's when the motivation kind of dissipates, right? Where you don't see, you're not seeing results, right? You're not seeing any change, right? And so it's almost like, why am I doing this, right? Why am I doing all this shit? Why am I beating myself up? And then that's when they quit. And it's almost like I always think about that diagram, like where the two guys are mining for diamonds, right? And the one homie is about to hit it, and he turns around and goes back because he's not hitting it, and then the other guy is going, right? So it's almost like it's right there in that adversity.
I hate that fucking picture, but it's so true.
It's the stupidest picture.
It's annoying, but it's just so factual that it's like you can't ignore it, you know, because at the end of the day, and you never know, but I do feel like it is true, right? That like, yeah, right whenever people are about to reach success is whenever they stop. Yeah. You know?
You know what's funny is I just posted, well, I did it on purpose, right? Because I knew the topic for today, but I posted there is a clip of Alex Hormozy on my story. He says, I sent it to you too. I don't know if you got to watch it. I don't think you did, but no worries, right? But he says, success and failure on the same road. Failure is just an earlier exit. And I think that's like the biggest, the biggest eye opener, because bro, it's so true. Like some people just don't go hard enough. You know what I'm saying? I always think like, even going back to football, I think like I remember my coaches telling me like, just keep on hitting him in the mouth, keep on hitting him in the mouth. Sooner or later he's gonna quit. Sooner or later he's gonna give up. You know, and I think that's like, it's the same thing like your goals, right? You just keep on hitting them, keep on showing up, keep on going, you know, harder and harder and harder, right? Like, it's like, who are you when no one's watching, right? You keep on doing the things that you have to do, right? And then it just becomes like who you have to be, bro. It's almost like changing yourself, right? Changing the disciplined things about you, right? To become the person who's capable of achieving the goals that you want. You know, I think so many people just don't realize that what it actually takes to accomplish the goals they want to do, right? Like, you almost have to change yourself as a person to do the things you've never been able to do. You have to become somebody you never been, right? So it's definitely like the identity you have to build, right? So if you it's something like, if you want to lose weight, okay, then like you can't miss workouts, right? You can't miss workouts. You have to eat right, and it's all the things that you have to do, right? And you just keep on having to show up. It's like, it's also like being uncomfortable being comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? All these like sayings that we've said in the past, or, like on the podcast, right? But these are all things that like we think that achieving our goals is gonna be like easy, and it's not, bro. Like I always say, like you have to fall in love with the journey, and then you'll go far, right? You can't fall in love with the destination. You got to fall in love with the journey.
I think that that's like the beautiful part about it, right? Is it is going to be tougher, and we shouldn't skip over these right here. I think we should go down the list because we've only talked about the first one.
Yeah.
But the thing that makes it so great about the stuff that we want is that not a lot of people have it. But the reason that not a lot of people have it is because it's so hard to get there, and you have to be resilient. It's tough, you know. Everybody gives up on the way, you know. Whenever me and you talk about our goals, it's like, well, we want like a lot of wealth. You know, we want real nice houses. We want to be in like great shape. You know, being in good shape is cool, but there's a bunch of guys who are in good shape. I mean, not everybody, right? I think like 50% of like the population right now isn't good shape at all. But there's only like a top 10% of men who are in like great shape, and that's something that we chase to be. You know, even if we are like in the top like higher percentage, like, you know, if you look at it like on a scale. If we're in like the top 30 right now, like we're still chasing the top 10, you know? Yeah. And those things are only valuable to us because they're hard to get to, because not a lot of people have it.
Yeah.
You know, but if everybody was like that, we wouldn't care about it. You know, if everybody was born just naturally fit and naturally strong, the gym wouldn't seem that cool, because it's like, you're not doing anything. You're not leveling up. Like you go and we're just able to lift shit, you know? It's like, how cool would it be? Like, how often would you go to the gym if they only had 10-pound dumbbells?
Oh, yeah. Dude, I remember.
You get bored quick. You'd be like, oh, okay, well, this is this weight, and I can move it around this way, and maybe I get like a little sore after how many reps. But you'd give up pretty quick. But the fact that it's so hard and stuff, and that you want to like reach these goals, you know what I mean? And maybe you've seen, because you had to have seen it, right? Maybe you saw somebody like deadlift a certain amount, and you're like, oh fuck, like I want to be able to deadlift that amount too, you know?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that was my cousin, bro. My cousin, like, my cousin, the one, my shout out Kane, the one who does my tattoos. That dude is fucking naturally just like even his sister, bro. Like, I don't know what they eat or how they were raised differently than us. Me and my brother are strong, but they are naturally strong. I remember watching well, he saw me do my first 4-plate deadlift, and I think he just took it way farther. And he did, like, I remember seeing him hit 5 plates first, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, and
but then you see it, and it's humanly possible, and you're like, okay, well, if you hit 5 plates, like, eventually I will be able to do that too if I stick to it, right? Because it's possible. But if everybody could just do 5 plates, it's like, it's not impressive. It's just kind of like whatever. Like, why are you going to spend your time doing it if everybody can do it?
Yeah, I remember being at the gym, at the Go Gym off of Crossroads, right, when I was like 21, 20. And I always, I remember looking around, like I was in a different mindset at that point too, right? But I remember looking around, looking at what everybody else had on the bar, and I always had to do more. I always had to do more. And then if I wasn't doing more, I was counting how many reps you were doing, and I was doing more reps. And I think that was just me. Like I kept on telling myself, like, I'm anything but average. And it's just knowing that I want to do something that somebody else can't.
That's so funny. Like, whenever you're like on the treadmill and shit, somebody hops in like and starts at like the same time as you. You're like, I'm not getting off this bitch before he does. Like, I'm gonna let him get off, and then I'm gonna go a little bit longer, and then I'll get off. Like, I'm not gonna get off before he does.
Yeah, I think that's definitely like the that like alpha mindset in my head. Like, I'm not gonna let somebody else beat
It's
me.
just like natural, melons. Hopefully you guys have that. If not, then you need to get it. But then the second thing on there that we want to talk about, why do people quit diets? I think this is a tough one, bro.
And you know what it is? It's I can speak from experience. I'm not the best at diets. I'd rather not eat than eat clean sometimes, bro. Like I very much have done like 3-day, 4-day, 5-day fast, like no food, because I'd rather do that than to eat clean. I think it's just it's like comfort food, bro. I think I have a bad relationship with food, and I think that I want, like, it's like one of the few joys I have in life. I've always been like a bigger guy. I've always like my parents like cook. My grandma too, bro. They all cook really well, and so it's kind of like I've always had that. And then,
great.
Bro, if I don't have good food, it's like these are like some of the small joys in my life. And I always say that I work out so much so I can eat what I want. But another thing too is I also know that if I want to get to like my dream physique, I would have to eat better. I have to eat more. One, because I don't think I eat enough. And then 2, I think I need to eat cleaner, right? And so I've been very much on that journey of trying to. You probably see me my little.
The meal preps and shit that you walked in with work. Yeah, I saw them the other day.
Yeah, so I've been trying, and it's not like 100% the healthiest thing, right? I try to make like a healthier chicken Alfredo, right, with protein pasta and stuff like that. But it's I know I never matter, bro. Like it's very much like I'm not eating this stuff to feel good. I have to eat this stuff to feel my body. And then you know what's funny too though, bro, is I know that when I do eat cleaner, I do feel better. And I know there's certain times where like when I'm eating better, like I just feel like I'm running on premium fuel, bro. Like it's just like imagine like you have like a vehicle that should only be on premium fuel, and then
you're putting regular gas in
it. Yeah, it's gonna run like shit, bro. Like, and I felt that before. I think but the thing is, I haven't been consistent enough to reap the benefits, right? I'll do cardio, bro. I'll do an hour on stairs, right? Because I'm trying to find a cheat code, or I'm trying to find like a shortcut to get to my goal. And I know that I can't.
Not going to do anything anyway. And the diet is so important.
Yeah, and then another thing too, bro, is like I live by myself, right? So like cooking and meal prepping by myself is just like sometimes it just does not work because it's not only getting it's finding time to go to HEB, get all the ingredients, right? Going home, prepping them, right? Prepping the food, and then also cleaning it up afterwards. And then right, like for me, I try to make food for 4 or 5 days, and then but by that 4th or 5th day,
you don't want it anymore, bro. You've been eating it.
I don't want it anymore, bro.
2 things real quick. One, DK put Q&A next podcast. Every podcast is a Q&A. We're open to questions, and we'll answer them live. Or if you have questions for us, you can tell us after the podcast, and we'll bring it up on the next episode. And he said, first question, why is Jaime such a good dude? That is a great question. We'll get into that later. Yeah. But I do want to say, free Andrew Tate and free Tristan. I saw a video of him talking about how cooking is one of the most like stupid pastimes in the world because it's there's such a what's it called? What did he say? There's like a low return on investment, ROI on it. Mm-hmm. You know, that like you waste so much time sitting there cooking and you don't really get that much like out of it. It's better to just order food. So I will say to you that
I feel that, bro. Like,
you know, maybe because I don't want to knock your meal prepping, you know, because I do understand that you're doing that to get better. But the other side of that coin is like you are wasting a shit ton of time doing it. Yeah, and then you're going to get tired of it.
Yep.
The other side of that coin, though, is I do want to talk about like the way that our society is, you know, and they say that other places are better. Maybe they are. I wouldn't know, right? I live in America. But fuck, like the system around us is just built for you to fail at eating good, bro. There's not that many places to eat good, you know, and you can eat Chipotle, and even then you can fuck up Chipotle too. Like you can make Chipotle bad. You can make it really good, and you can make it really bad, right? So
give me some queso, right?
I always like queso, you know. But
yeah, no.
I think like around like where we work, right? What we have is like you can make Chipotle good, but you can also make it bad, right? And I feel like all of the places are like that. There's Panda Express. You can make Panda Express good, but you can also make it really, really bad.
That honey walnut shrimp though, bro. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And then Flaming Bird, HEB. It's another one. Don't sleep on it. You've never been to it? Yeah, so you got to go to Flaming Bird. You can go to the Valley High, or you can go to Marbach. But you go in there, you can get like rotisserie chicken with like a couple sides, and it's like $5, $6. It's not even expensive either.
Yeah, you know what it is, bro. Is like I very much know that like what my my time I have. I think I rather quit while I'm ahead almost. You know, like I almost know that I'm not gonna be able. I mean, bro, we pay whenever Juan's there, like with the food truck at work. You know, we pay a premium just to get food so he can cook it for us, right? Because when we don't want to leave. Yeah. And then 2 is like, man, we don't want to cook for ourselves.
But you can also get good food from Juan. Juan is like the 4th option, right? If he's there, that you can get good food from him. On Saturday, I got chicken, fish, a little bit of potatoes, and then bell peppers and onions. It was a good clean meal, you know.
I'll do taco cabana sometimes. Just get like a chicken fajita tacos with like guacamole. And
the taco though, the tortilla is not good for you.
Hey, bro, but like, what other carb is there? You know, like it's just straight taco.
If you can avoid it, you can avoid it. DK asked me, when are you dropping your next EP? That is a great question. I actually have like 3 projects with other people that are finished and ready to drop. I have one with Ricky. I have one with Louie, and I have one with Spook. So whenever somebody's ready to drop one of those, you know, I can put out an EP at fucking any time of the week, right? But as far as my personal one, I definitely think that my next I'm not gonna drop an EP. I'm gonna drop like a real solid and produced album. If I put out a personal project anytime soon, but I am looking to drop one of those three before then. Most likely will be the next thing that I drop. And then into our next thing here. Why do people quit relationships? The reason why the podcast was late today.
I think sometimes, man,
they're hard.
Yeah, and it's almost communication's hard, right? And it's all
Between man and woman. Shit.
yeah. Men and women are both human, right? But I think we're very much like two different species in a sense, right? Like, and I had a conversation with Ramsey, one of our managers at work the other day, and he was like, "Oh, you know what you should talk about is y'all should talk about like how to talk to women." And I'm like, "Sir, I was like, we don't even know how to talk to each other as men." I was like, "What makes you think we know how to talk to women?" You know, like
Giving
he's
advice
like,
on that.
exactly. And I was like, "Well, then," I was like, "It's gonna be 3 hours long, 4 hours long, and we're still not gonna have an answer at the end." You know, like
Yeah.
And so it's very much like it's just getting uncomfortable, right? And it's very much like I have to realize I've made maybe not bad, well maybe yeah, a lot of bad habits over the years, and like I've been like single for I don't even know how long at this point, right? So it's I've learned I've learned how to survive, right? And it's unlearning that survival process or that survival mindset, and learning to coexist with somebody else, or learning to lean up on somebody else, right? And it's hard because like you don't want to use them as a crutch, but then you also like want to be able to like to depend on them. You know, you want that support. You want that partner that's gonna be there for you whenever things are hard. You know, and then
You want the ROI, return on investment.
and I see that too. You know, I'm very much a person that like if I care about you, I'll give this shirt off my back. You know, I'll give you I'll be walking barefoot if you need some shoes. Right, it is what it is. But the thing is like I want all that to be reciprocated, right? I'm very much somebody who, man, I'll give you the world, right? But the thing is like it's hard to expect anybody else to give me the same thing, just because I know like I'm very much a all in person, you know.
And that's what we're set up for as men, and that's the thing that kind of sucks. And we can try to fight it as much as we want, but as a man, you kind of are set up to give more than you get back.
Yeah.
And that, even if you have like your own family, right, you're going to give a lot to your kids and you're probably not going to get that much shit back from them, right?
Yeah.
So that is the reality of being a man. You're going to give a lot more into this world than what it gives back to you. And that's why it's kind of important to take what's yours, whenever you can, whenever you have the chance. Like, if you're going to be here and walk this earth, you might as well take everything that you can get, because nobody's going to give anything back to you. Like,
Yeah, you have one chance at life, and then if you're not gonna, you have one chance at life, right? Your time is limited. We all don't know how much time we have, right? But it's if you're gonna spend it trying to fix something that maybe is not worth it, we gotta kind of look at ourselves and realize, like, are we happy? How much longer can we be doing this stuff, right? So I think it's hard because like you want to be able to be vulnerable with somebody else, but you also can, like it's so hard because in today's like day and age, bro, like you almost have to like you have to be able to protect yourself too sometimes, like you can only be so vulnerable before like you start getting hurt, right? But it's hard because you like even look at it this way, bro. Look at a Mother's Day. Look at like what we do for like Mother's Day, like as a society, and then look what we do for Father's Day as a society, right?
Yeah.
Like how many guys are getting ties for Father's Day, right? And like they don't even fucking wear ties, like I already have a pile of ties.
Yeah, Dad doesn't get balloons and flowers.
Yeah, never, bro. And so it's it's hard because we're also the people, right? The people who are doing overnight jobs, the people who are doing manual labor, right? I'm not saying there's not women who do these things, right? But it's primarily men, right? The in the car business, bro. Look at the car business,
the
right?
exception doesn't outweigh the majority.
Yeah, and then look at the car business, right, where it's 12-hour shifts, bro. Who are doing these things? Primarily men, right? We do all these things, and like we do these things for the people in our life, and so we can enjoy it a little bit more, right? But it's so hard to sometimes just to get that appreciation, So that's why most people quit, right? Because they're not seeing that return on investment, right? They're not seeing where it's worth it, right? I can give you everything, right? But if I'm not getting it back, like what am I doing this for,
Yeah, and I think the reality of the situation, whenever it comes to relationships, it is, people just quit because it's hard. I mean, it's never gonna be easy, and you know it. A lot of people go from person to person just trying to make this shit work until they finally realize, you know, like 30 people later, that that's just how relationships are gonna be. It's gonna be hard every time. You're either gonna want to make it work or you don't, right?
And another thing too, though, is I do feel like sometimes people go from person to person looking for the right person or whatever it is, but a lot of times they don't look at themselves as a problem. Like I kind of act like I've
Yeah.
always been perfect, bro, because I
I don't
haven't.
think either of us are. I think we do have our flaws.
Yeah, bro. I'm an emotional person, bro. Whether that's
Me
mad,
too.
sad, or
Yeah.
whatever it is, bro. So like it's hard. Like I just have to say it's my passion, right? But like man, sometimes that like in my communication style, like it very much seems like I'm mad, but I'm just trying to explain myself, you know, to a certain way. And I think a lot of times too, people quit because they don't want to change themselves, right? And then you can quit a relationship and still be in that relationship, right? But it's like you quit that relationship because you didn't want to. You stopped growing with it. You are very much just stuck in your ways where like you don't want to change, right? And if and like it's like, man, how do you want your relationship to be better, but you're not like allowing yourself to be better, right? And allowing yourself to be vulnerable enough to be to kind of take that constructive criticism too, bro. Like I think so many people, especially in a relationship, right, where they maybe get something from their partner, like some feedback, and they take it as an attack. And I think that's like the biggest thing is like sometimes like what else do I say? Am I just supposed to like sit with these ideas and these feelings and just like suck them up and eat, like, you know, like just eat them for dinner, like, you know, like what
Yeah,
am I
just
supposed to
take
do?
everything.
It's hard. It's definitely hard. What do you say? You can cry on my shoulder. Hey, I'll call you up, dog. But it's hard.
Yeah, and then the next one, why do people quit businesses?
You know,
This is like the toughest one right here, right?
yeah, because I mean, I think like we can only talk about this so much because like I mean, they like to say in the car business like, oh, treat it like you're a business owner and stuff like that. But it's hard because like I really haven't ever had my own business. I think sometimes we just think too close minded or too small, right? We don't ever want to expand, like to get things to a bigger I don't know how to say it, but like they say that if you build a business and then you employ people to take over to do the things that you do for your business, and you can't walk away for 3 months and let it do this thing, it's not a good business. You know what I'm saying? So you have to almost instill these things into the people around you. You need to. That's another thing too. It's the same thing as relationships, right? We have to look to somebody to depend on. You know, you can only do so much by yourself, and I think that's the hard part too. Is like almost relying on other people, right? Relying on the community, and also like choosing. You know, a lot of people, right? We've seen in the car business, bro. Like how many times do people maybe like people in like management put other people that they know personally, or maybe family or somebody they know, like, you know, in management that maybe don't deserve it, and it kind of causes everything else to kind of go to shit because like they aren't strong enough to hold those positions, right? So it's hard because how many times has like somebody in the top position walk away, and then once they walk away, it's like it doesn't stay the same.
Yeah, you know, I got a quick question for you, right? I don't know why I just thought of this, but I think it's a great question, and I
I
would
saw
like
your
to
light
ask
bulb.
you.
I saw a light bulb go up in your head when I said something. So
Why do you think that so many people quit North Park, where we work? You know?
because the shadows that are cast by the highest people, like the top producers, are so big that they get lost in the shadows. And then it's also so hard to compete with some of these guys because I'm not gonna lie, bro, they've been there so long that it's kind of like they're built into the system, bro. Their units, their pipeline is built into the system because maybe the managers see that it's built, like it works that way. I think like our number one guy, right? It's very much I mean, we're not gonna lie, right? It's very much well, why waste these leads and give them to somebody else when we can just give them to this guy and then we know it's gonna go down, right? So like the month that I killed it, right, did 30 cars, homie was doubled me, you know, like brother,
Yeah.
brother, stop, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like it's almost like they don't trust somebody else to do the same things that that guy's done, right? So it's hard, bro, because like imagine being always. I've never been a number one salesperson ever.
Okay, but check this out though, right? And this is more what I'm kind of like leaning
Okay.
towards because I do understand that aspect of it. But you do have people like there is people who have came to the dealership, right? And I mean, it usually happens in like their first month, right? But I guess it is a little bit hard to do it consistently. But it is possible, right? I just want to say that is that there's people who come and then they are successful at coming over there and, you know, doing good, right? And putting up some numbers. And maybe they can't do it for that long, right? I feel like everybody drops off after like the third month. You know, whenever someone comes, they sell like 20 cars their first month, or maybe twice, they get a desk and then fucking they just fall off right away, right? We've seen a few of those, but like let's take into account, right, like that woman who had came to the dealership and she was like the number one salesperson at her dealership. Why do you think that it happens? Because I've heard that a few times, all right? We've talked about that. Why does it happen that they're number one there and then they come here and it's like a whole different...
It's a different system, bro, for sure. Like I even took a whole, like I'm not going to say I was number one at my previous dealership, but I was very much one of the best. I was never number one in units, but I was very, very good at what I do, but it's just a whole different system. It's like we have an open floor plan, right? We're also kind of in the middle of nowhere where if you don't know where you're getting your leads from, like it's hard to get leads. I very much have had customers tell me like, oh, I'm on the way. And then I send the address and they're like, oh, never mind. You're on the other side of town. I'm just going to go somewhere closer, you know? And so it's hard. But it's also like, you almost have to set yourself up in a way that's different than any other dealership, you know, because of this, just the way like this. Yeah, it's hard too, bro, because I've said at this dealership is not only do I have to convince sometimes I have to also convince the managers to sell a car, not just the customers, because sometimes they don't want to do it, bro. Sometimes they don't want to do it. And we've seen that. I mean, we worked a deal together. Maybe I don't know if it was this month or the previous month. But we very much knew that we could have got to that payment, right? But that the guy was trying to get to, but you know, the managers are trying to maximize profits.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's hard. Sometimes they will oh, you know, I guess there's nothing else we could do, you know. So it's a different system. I think it's also like. It's hard because, man, you see, like, not just one, not just two, not just, like a couple people, but, like, a handful, like, a good amount of people at our dealership, they'll be killing it at one time. And so it's like, man, like, it's hard to watch that, and then you're trying to figure it out. You know, you're trying to figure out what, like, how to get your customers, how to sell, like, your cars, right? When somebody else is like, man, like, somebody sold 3, somebody sold 4, like, and sometimes it happens that way, and they're consistently doing these things, right? But they already figured out the system, right? So it's hard to go there, because another thing too, this is your money, right? If you're not making money, how are you supposed to do this, right? So it's a harder thing to kind of to think about, especially because I think money is kind of like one of the biggest things that we stress about, you know, because if you can't pay your bills, like what are we doing, you know? And so it's like, how do I figure this stuff out? How do I have these growing pains and still pay my bills? Because like, it's either I'm selling cars, I'm making money, or I'm not. Like, we don't have a base pay here. We don't have like a minimum. Like, if we're not selling a car right then and there, we're doing everything we are doing right then and there for free. And so it's kind of hard to do that whenever, like, you go to other dealerships and, like, there's just not as much competition, bro. You go to other dealerships, they have 10, 15 salespeople. You know, they work till 7 or they work till 5 on a Saturday, you know. They're asking us to come do the shit 9 to 9, Monday through Saturday, right?
I mean, I could see that, yeah, 100%, right? If there's 10 salespeople, you beat 5 guys and you're, like, on the top half of the leaderboard.
Yeah,
you know?
bro.
To be at the top half here, you have to be selling more than 30 people. 30 other people to be on the top half, you know?
And then, like, to do that too, bro, like, some of these guys are selling more than a car a day.
And even then, even if you're on the top half, is like, fuck, like, that top 10 is, like, fucking way ahead of you, you know?
Yeah, and it's also kind of like you can do it. Like, for me, for myself, like, I've seen what it takes to be number one. I mean, not number one, number 2, number 3 at this dealership, right? It's also kind of like, do I want to do that every month? I've seen what it does to my mental. I've seen what it does to, like, to like my body, and like I just don't think it's like something that I can do long term. So I'm very much just trying to figure out and put in place systems to make it easier to get there. So it is a little bit harder, but I think it's very much like I think about it as like a desert. But there's people out there eating, but you're just like, man, how the fuck are they eating? Because I don't know where they're getting their water, getting their food and shelter from. Because it's fucking hot out here, and there's nothing out here, and I don't see anything. And I'm starting to see mirages and shit like that. I'm getting fucking getting hungry out here and thirsty, and it's hard. It's hard to look past these things sometimes.
All right, then you want to go into the next topic, right? You want to skip that one and go to number 4?
Yeah, the number 4.
Yeah.
So number 4, becoming the person you said you'd be, right? So I think that's when like motivation leaves. I think like if I want to be the top salesperson, if I want to be the fittest person, right, I very much have to think about what it takes to be there, to get there, and then I have to like start implementing these things into my life to the point where like they become habits. And I think another thing too is like society likes to tell us that like it takes, what is it, like 20-30 days to like break a bad habit or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think I was on something on my Facebook, and somebody looked into it. I forgot who it was, and I was trying to find the video and I couldn't find it. But they say it actually takes anywhere from like 66 days for some people, and all the way up to like 60 or 70 days for certain people to break a habit and to like replace them with new ones. So imagine how consistent you have to be to change the things about your life. Think about it this way: like I'm almost 30. Imagine what I have to do and how I have to change my life to break the habits I've been doing for the last 28 years. You know what I'm saying?
Can I say that I completely disagree with that?
I mean, yeah, you can.
Because I have heard I forgot who told it to me. It might have been my girl who said something like that, where it's like, oh, it takes like 20 days to build a habit or something. And I was like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. I just want to say that real quick. It does not take 30 days to break a habit. It takes 1 second to stop.
Can I tell you something? You also told me that you've never been consistent in anything in your life.
That is true, but to break a habit,
I mean,
okay, hold on. But to break a habit, right? Because I've quit hard drugs before. So
I mean, I've quit drugs before too.
I've broken a lot of habits, you know? I smoked weed for like a majority of my life.
Yeah,
bro, you know, since I was like 12 years old, I started smoking, and I didn't quit until I was like 21.
Yeah, I sold the most cars that I ever done before, like all the way high, bro. And then right now I'm completely sober, so like I get it. Yeah.
So to break a habit, I think that it takes 1 second. Now, but in the way that my mind works, and I understand what the study is saying, that it's like, okay, you haven't truly broken it until you've hit here, you've hit here, you've hit here. But I think that that mindset like also like holds you back. You know, to thinking that it's okay, well, no, once I've done it for 20 days, and it's like, no, like if you decide that day, that's the day that you broke the habit. You know?
Yeah.
I that's how I personally see it, and I understand what the study is trying to say. But I believe, like, yes, if 20 days in, you could say that that's the day that you broke the habit. But to me, 20 days ago, whenever you stopped, that's the day you broke it. The way that I think about it, you know what I mean? But, you know, to each his own, right? I don't want to say that, like, the studies are wrong, and I understand what the way that you're thinking about it. Like, the consistency has to be there, and it takes this long. But I also don't like to put, like, limits on it. Now, to the contrary, right? There is also the double side of that, where it's like, okay, if you, like, say you're going to quit, right? Like, you quit this second, and then next week you do it again. It's like, okay, well, you know, obviously you started back up, right? You broke it. But I think that you can quit a habit in a second if you want to, I believe, personally. So to hear like, oh, it takes 30 days, whenever I heard it, that's what like my reaction. I was like, that's the dumbest thing ever. Like, and not to discredit what you said, like, right? Because, you know, you didn't come up with the study, whatever. But I personally believe that whenever you want to quit a habit or start one, it starts the second you say you're going to do it. Now, if you break it, then you got to start again, right? But it starts whenever you want it to start. Yeah,
and I'm glad you had that mindset, right? I think it's very much the mindset that most people need to have to even start. I like the same thing for me, vaping, right? Like I think I remember I've quit vaping twice in my life.
And you still do it?
No, I don't.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I
okay.
won't touch it. I look at that shit, and I see other people at work. When I see people that I care about vaping, I always look at them. I tell them, I was like, you're killing yourself from the inside out, right? And I
That's
always say
bad.
that stuff. I remember at one point, bro, like vaping so much that like I would wake up with a vape in my hand, right, and then like I had to like pry it out of my hand. I would be fucking gripping that shit, bro. Like it was crazy. Back in the day with the
Nicotine's fucked, bro.
yeah,
Nicotine is fucked.
it's addicting.
I feel like um, whenever I stopped smoking weed, the nicotine was harder to quit than the actual weed.
No, it was, yeah, and then especially depending on how you smoke, right? Because if you smoke
Yeah.
with like blunt wraps and that gets like nicotine like
Not
mixed in,
stop, bro. Like joints, there was just like,
Yeah.
Not that I wouldn't smoke a joint, but I never. And here's the nicotine, right? And I remember one time, one of the guys, like, who was like one of those like raw dudes, you know what I mean? They got like, oh, I only smoke raws, or whatever. I didn't feel satisfied whenever I smoked a joint, and one of the guys like brought up, he's like, you never feel satisfied whenever you smoke a joint because you're addicted to nicotine. Like,
yeah,
that's why the joints don't hit you. Like, you always feel like it's not enough because you don't have the nicotine in there.
yeah.
And I was like, shut the fuck up. Like, what do you know? As I roll my backwood, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No, I get it, bro. And so I just remember like I remember vaping until like I remember one day waking up and just feeling like I had like it's all congested or like just feeling like I had a bunch of phlegm, and I remember coughing, and I remember I saw blood, and I quit that day. I remember I went through
Oh,
my
really?
room. Yeah, I went through my room and I grabbed all the vapes I had, even like because I would hold on to the ones that were like you were tasting the damn coil and shit, because I was like, man, these are gonna be my backups just in case, because I felt like there's a little bit less in there,
Yeah.
you know. And I remember just throwing them all away, like, and quitting cold turkey. And I remember starting at the new dealership at North Park. I remember I picked up the habit again somewhere through, and it was just because one of the homies, I remember somebody told me like, they're like, oh, do you know how to blow O's? And I was like, yeah, but I'm not gonna do it. Or like they're doing like smoking tricks with a vape. And I remember like they were like, well, show us, blah blah blah. And I was like, all right. And then so I hit it, and then I was like, fuck. I was like, this is not that bad, right? Blah blah blah, right? And I remember somebody said that like nicotine does help people with ADHD, right? Because it's a stimulant. Right, I remember even talking to my psychiatrist about it. Right, whenever we were talking about getting back on my meds, and she was like, "Yeah, that's why people with ADHD like the nicotine, because it's a stimulant, right, and it helps you focus, right, and that's why people do like the pouches, whatever they are, right, and because it helps them
like
focus.
the Zins and
Yeah, yeah.
the dip. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I remember using that as an excuse, right, and then just getting like I remember just. It was bad, bro. And like, and you see it at the dealership, bro. Homies will be like borrowing each other's vapes, and it's like, hey, you got your vape, and they're like, bro, it's my vape. Chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? And it's just, like everybody becomes a fiend, bro, when it comes to a nicotine, like to a nicotine like a vape or whatever it is. And it's tough, bro. We got one of the homies vape right there, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he was tripping out when he realized he didn't have it with him. You know, I don't know who it is, right? I'm not pointing at anybody. I'm saying anybody's names, but I'm sure like it's hard. It's hard to leave that shit. And so I just remember feeling like, man, like I don't like how I'm feeling this dependent on this like substance. And so I just had to quit, bro. I had to quit. I hated feeling like just so dependent on it, you know, just like I needed this shit. So I quit, and I think that, yeah, it's but it wasn't easy though. It wasn't like, oh, like you quit that. Like I did quit and I never went back to it, but I'm not acting like I never wanted to go back to it. You know what I'm saying? It was very much hard. And so these are all like, I remember having habits where like I would like have little like, I would do so much work and then I'll go outside and vape for a little bit and then come back.
Even now, bro, like whenever I have a real fucked up day, like a black and mild does still cross my mind. You know, like
Hey, yeah.
I could just stop at the store real quick, smoke a black, but I know that it's not gonna make anything better, and that's why I just stay away from it. But yeah, you do always kind of like still have that temptation. Shout out DK, he said I've been telling the gang since the start to quit shit like that, but no, it's fuck DK. And now for real, for a while, right, whenever we were all like in the sessions and stuff, like everybody be doing all these types of drugs and shit, DK walk in there like, guys, what the fuck is going on? He's like, I don't even like to be in here whenever you guys are like this. Like, I just want to work. And DK, shut the fuck up. Like, you know?
Yeah.
What the fuck do you know? Like, you don't understand and all of this stuff. And you know, hindsight 2020, right? You know, maybe he was right about all of that stuff, and it might have held us back, right? But I do feel like the day that I quit was the day that I quit. It wasn't like, oh, I broke the habit 30 days later. And a lot of those things, it was like, okay, I did a few months and then I broke it. I did a few months and then I broke it, you know?
Yeah.
And To say like when, I don't remember like the exact date that I said, oh, I'm gonna stop doing this. I just know that one day I stopped doing it and I never did it again, and that was, I quit that day. So I don't think that people should limit themselves and like set like a standard to like, oh, it has to be 20 days, it has to be 66 days, because what happens after that number? Like, is it broken now? I just feel like the day that you tell yourself you're gonna stop and that you stop is the day that you stop. And you can do it anytime. You can do it anybody out there wanting to quit their addictions or feel like they're doing something that's bad, or they want to start a good habit, they want to start going to the gym, they want to start working out, like, you can start at any second that you want. If you say, I want to change my life and I want to start working out, like, drop down on the floor and fucking do some push-ups right now or do some jumping jacks, whatever the fuck, but you could start like this second, and now you're on your journey.
Well, let me ask you. I mean, what about, okay? So like we're talking about like breaking bad habits. What about making new ones, right? Like going to the gym, like doing these things, because like I feel like I've told you before, right? And I've even offered you to go to the gym with me, right? We can go in the morning, whatever it is. But like, how is it? How would how would you build good habits with the gym when you're not consistent enough to like make it like a part of your schedule?
Workout at home. That is my easiest answer to anybody who's like, I want to go to the gym, but I don't have time. Okay, work at home. Do body workouts. Start there.
Mm-hmm.
That's simple. Like, you don't have to start off in fucking LA Fitness or what's like the super, is it Lifetime? Lifetime's like Lifetime. The rogue. Yeah, you don't got to start off in fucking Lifetime Fitness, doing some crazy shit like,
or Gold's Gym or whatever.
Yeah, and you can start off working out at home, And I think if you want to start off with something, just start. Whenever we started the podcast, we didn't have everything set up the way that we wanted to have it set up. And there were things that I knew that we needed, and it was just like, fuck it, we just got to start it.
Yeah.
So if you want to create a habit, the best thing is to just start and stop worrying about like the minuscule details. Like, I didn't have the other mic. Only one of the mics had came in.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like the other mic was going to be here in 2 days, but me and Jaime just decided, like, fuck it. Like, if we say we're going to start the podcast, let's just start it, because we're going to keep on putting it off. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing, to just start. So I think that if somebody is trying to build a habit, the best thing to do is start, even if it's not exactly what you want,
And I think that goes back into the thing that I said in the beginning, right? It's okay to suck, but it's not okay to quit.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? So, like, it's even like, okay.
Start and suck.
Yeah. Like, you have to, and that's another thing, too, is like, you have to kind of fail and learn from the failures, right? We've talked about that before. That was one of the other topics we had, right? But these are all things that like, you have to put a pin in it, right? Learn from your mistakes, and then get better from it too, right? Because if you keep on failing at like, if you don't ever learn from your mistakes either, like, you keep on failing, at that point you're gonna you're gonna think that failings is like the outcome of these things, like every single time, right? And so you get comfortable in those certain standpoints, and then you end up just quitting, because you're not gonna you don't get to reap any of the benefits of doing this work, right? If you don't ever change. And so it's a whole broader thing than just starting to, right? It's putting putting systems behind that, right? Going through whatever the thing you're doing is, or you're trying to do, like, whether it be working out, whatever it is, right? And then you start learning from it, right? You have to be like what is it, like a student of the game, right? I remember people always tell me, like, oh, I don't know what to do at the gym. Well, I say find somebody, a fitness influencer, like somebody on YouTube or something that somebody that you like, somebody that you want to be like, and then watch all their stuff, right? Or see somebody at the gym, right? And I'm not advocating for watching people at the gym and being weird like that, right? But if you see them doing something that you think it might work, might help, like, copy and paste it, right? Like, what is it? What do they say? Like where they say like you do something else, like somebody is like, that's like the biggest thing of like flattery. What do they say? Like
imitation is the best flattery.
Yeah, whatever that is, however you say it. But it's one of those things, like I think it's hard to it's hard to do things you've never done before, right? But we had to learn and kind of get past some of these mental blocks, right? So that's one of the things that we need to do, right? And kind of learn to get uncomfortable, right? And it's kind of going into the next topic, like the cost of comfort, right? That's getting uncomfortable, right? Doing the things that you've never done before, doing being somebody you've never been before, right? Doing and just making these making the habits of the person that you want to become, right? So it's a lot of stuff that it's all like steps into being that better version of you and being consistent.
Shout out DK over there saying he's starting his weight loss journey 4 days ago. Been walking, jogging my 2 miles, doing crunches time to time to get better. Yeah, 100%, bro. Do what you gotta do, and don't feel bad if one day you fucking do a half a mile walk and then you go home, you know. But at least that day you fucking did it. You know, that's the biggest thing is your consistency is gonna go a long way if you just keep on going with it, bro. Like, do not let yourself not go walk. You know.
Yeah. I remember in high school, like I was a defensive lineman, right? I played, I think one year I was a nose tackle. I think it was my, it wasn't my junior. I think it was one of these years I was a defensive, the nose guard, right? So I was like a bigger guy, right? And they told me to gain some weight, so I did. And then I remember like we changed our defense, right? And then it was kind of time to like lose a little bit of weight. And I remember I hate running, bro. To this day, I hate running, right? And so it's very much something I never wanted to do. But I remember I told myself, all right, like Monday, I'm gonna do 2 laps around the field, right? And then so that's like half a mile. And then the next day I'm gonna do 1 more lap. And the next day I'm gonna do 1 more lap. And the next day I'm gonna do 1 more lap. Until like at the end of the week, whatever it is, I was up to like 5 laps or whatever it was, 6 laps. And then the next week when I would start over my Monday, I would, instead of starting with 2 laps, I would do 3 laps. Just to kind of push myself a little bit more. I have a little bit of break, right? And I kind of back off a little bit. And then by the time, bro, I remember being so consistent with it. At one point, I was running like 3 or 4 miles, like after my workouts and stuff like that. And that's coming from somebody who like was gassed after 1 lap, you know, being a big boy, you know what I'm saying? So it's all mind over matter. It's starting little and then increasing it little by little, right? You don't get stronger with lighter weight. You get stronger with heavier weights, right? You always have to kind of push yourself a little bit more. So yeah, shout out DK, bro. I'm proud of you, dog. Just keep on going, keep on doing what you gotta do, bro. And I hope you find what you're looking for. All right, and then going into I think you want to go into like the next thing, right? Or like why do we self-sabotage?
Ooh, that's a crazy one. Yeah, we can go into that. I think that sometimes maybe we're scared. I think that fear has a lot to do with self-sabotaging. We're scared of what's on the other side. You know, like taking those big leaps, you know, where you're gonna have the opportunity for success and to get more, but you know it's gonna be more work, or you know it's gonna be more time, or you know it's gonna be more stress. Like right now, let's say that, and this is not gonna happen, right? But let's say I was offered finance at North Park. I would turn it down, and that would be me self-sabotaging, right? Because I wouldn't think that I'm ready for it. I'm not ready for the time. I'm not ready to you know, close all those deals that way and do all the bumps and, you know, sell products that I don't know too much about. So I think that fear has a lot to do with it, you know, and whenever we're doing this, right, I think that this is actually like put a lot of I hate using this expression, but put a lot of fire underneath my ass. Yeah. my old manager used to say, to really like buckle down and do our goals. I feel like it's doing exactly what we set out for it to do. It's putting like accountability behind us, and it's kind of forcing us to not self-sabotage ourselves. Like I think you had said something earlier, and I wanted to say something whenever you did it, but you had talked about who you are when no one's watching.
Yeah. Right.
And let's be honest, who we are when no one's watching is different than who we are when everybody's looking at us. You know what I mean? So I think that this metaphorically and physically, right, really puts a lens on us to where now we have to be accountable. It is like now somebody's watching.
Yeah.
You know, whenever it was just you doing your stuff by yourself, like if you had a bad month, it's like, okay, yeah, like maybe, you know, a manager told you something, but like nobody's really, and they shouldn't be, right? Maybe, you know, a couple of weird people at the dealership, right, watching your sales, but nobody's really looking at you like, oh, Jaime, like, you know, unless they care about you, right? I mean, I guess, but in the reality of the situation, if you kind of fail and have a bad month, like, you're the only one who really, like, is looking at it like that deep, you know?
Yeah.
Who's really watching it or even, like, tracking it. And I think that this podcast has really given us an opportunity to, keep a lens on our goals and have other people, kind of keep us consistent, and then inspire other people to hold themselves accountable, for what they're doing, and they're kind of following along with us and our goals. And I'm excited to get to the goals here at the end, because I think that it has been it's been a pretty good solid month for both of us. I know that we just need to finish strong. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I know my month's been sucking. I ain't gonna lie. But I mean, it's been good. But it's
I was about to say, I was
not
like,
what I wanted it to be.
You're right on pace. If you can do what you did in the first half of the month, in the second half, you'll sell your 20 cars.
Yeah, I know. It's just it's very much me not being consistent. I've had some days where, like, if it doesn't start the right way, I kind of throwing them, like, I kind of like
throwing days away.
Yeah, throwing days away. Like, I just crumble up the paper and throw it away, and then let me start over tomorrow, type of thing. So I think it's me minimizing those days and stuff like that. It's like, who are you when you get punched in the mouth? Like, what are you gonna do when shit hits the fan? So I need to kind of look at myself in the mirror sometimes and realize, like, just because the day starts off bad doesn't mean it has to be bad entirely, right? Like, that was you on Saturday. You were trying to tell me, like, I think I told you, like, or one of these days I had a deal roll back, right?
It was Friday.
Yeah, and then you're like, well, don't let it get down. Like, don't let
it.
I
came too late to say it because it was like 4:30 and you left at 6. You were
and
like,
I was like, bro, I'm already checked out.
Yeah, you were checked out like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I was like, nope, I'm really good. I'm ready. I'm gonna pick up a few more leads. I'm gonna post my marketplaces, and then I'm gonna dip out of here, right? But I think it's hard to it's hard because, like, what we do, bro, we want to see that instant gratification, right? We want to see somebody come in and sell a car, and I think I've been hard on you about it, right? But in reality, like, I do the same thing, just on a different scale, right? Because I know I'm very much, like, I think Luis was telling you, like, I'm very much capable of doing it. I have, like, that. I have it in me. It's just, like, sometimes I just don't want to, right? And it's the same thing with anything in life, right? Like, we are all capable of doing these things. We just don't want to. We don't want to get uncomfortable. We rather lie under the sheets and snooze the alarm than wake up and go to the gym earlier, or wake up and go to work earlier, or even, like, just be on work on time. You know what I'm saying? Like little stuff like that. And I think, like, I'm very much somebody that if it doesn't start the right way, like I told you too, bro, like, I don't like work until I eat. Like, I have a process in my head, and it's just like if it doesn't go that way, like, I don't feel like it's gonna end the right way. So I kind of give up on the day. So it's kind of hard. What do you say?
When the DKNC said, whenever you come out of retirement. I think that another thing, too, is the same way that you told me to kind of open up my avenues of, like, how I sell cars. I think that you need to open up your avenues a little bit, too, and maybe add, like, a third pipeline, because I did see also that day, I think it was either Saturday or Friday, you were like, well, I don't got any internet leads working. I don't got any Facebook leads working. And then I'm like, okay, well, there's an issue here then.
Yeah.
And I know you, like, you're not going to go outside and get a fresh up, like, in the front. So maybe you can, like, start, like, calling, like, service people or, but I do think that you need a third one because Saturday I did, I at the time, the one lead that I had working wasn't texting me. Well, not the one lead, but, like, like the one that kind of seemed promising. He stopped texting me back. And I knew, I'm like, okay, at this point, right, the leads aren't coming in right now. For whatever reason, they didn't come a lot on Saturday. Like, I gotta just go out and get a fresh up. Like,
and I saw you with one. I saw you with the fresh up, and I remember telling myself, like, man, dude, should I go out there and catch a fresh up?
Yes, bro, you should have though.
But you know what it is I just hate sitting there and feel like I'm not doing anything. So I rather and see, I'm like, I rather just sit in front of my computer and the AC.
Well, you could also go outside and start, like, uploading clips and shit on your phone. Like doing stuff for the podcast while you're standing out there. And I'm not saying to stand out there like I used to, all day, but on Saturday, you definitely could have went out there and, like, maybe got lucky and caught it up.
And I was very much already in that mindset where, like, I don't feel like you know what it is? I just gave up on the week. I very much gave up on the week, bro. I just didn't want to.
You threw in the towel on Friday. I mean, it's gonna happen though, right? As long as we do good in the second half here. I am very, very passionate about us getting it because of what was said in the beginning of the month by our GM.
Yeah.
She said, she was really, really excited, right? I could tell whether she admits it or not, right? I could see her, like, side-eyeing me in the corner of her eye, and then finally she got a chance to talk to me. She had seen the clip of our podcast, and
I walked
she's like,
out
well,
too.
yeah. She's like, what do you guys talk about? And, I'd say, we talk about our goals, whatever. like our personal goals, our fitness goals, our sales goals. Oh, she goes, so you guys do talk about like work here on the podcast? Maybe a little bit, right? And she's like, okay, so if you guys don't hit your sales goals, I can go on there and tell them you're a bunch of liars. Yeah. And I was like, I felt like Michael Jordan whenever she said that. And it's like, and I took that personally. Like,
yeah.
So I know that I can't say for sure, right? But if we can get into that segment, because we're pushing over at least an hour, we can do sales goals first. I'm at 11 right now, and Jaime's at 9.5. My goal was 15. His is 20. I think that he can still hit his goal. Not that I think. Jaime needs to hit his goal because I don't want to let our GM have the last laugh. Like, I want us to hit both of our goals and then be like, all right, okay, we hit the goals. Like, now what? Are you going to praise us? You were going to laugh at us if we didn't hit it, and say that, we're a bunch of liars. If we hit it, then it's like, okay, well, do we get our praise too? Can we get the other side of that coin,
I don't even want the praise. Like, you know what it is though, bro, is I very much know that like as soon as you start doing good, they're gonna expect that out of you every month.
Yeah, I know. That's what scares me too, right? Elijah's been talking to me about that. And shout out Elijah, right? He gave me a deal this month. So one of my 11 was from someone else,
Yeah, I need some cheese. I need some cheese, bro.
It was a cheese deal.
No, I need some. I'm not saying anything bad about it. I said I need some.
But I'm definitely going to hit my goal, I think, for sure. Like, I can't fuck this up, right? I'm at 11. My goal was 15. Like, I have 2 weeks to sell 4 cars. Like, and if anything, now I'm like, I'm going to try to hit 20. But that is also the scary part is if once I hit 20, they're going to be like, oh, we've already seen what you can do.
You're a 20-car guy.
Yeah, you're a 20-car guy, Jay. Like, and it's like, oh, okay, I had one good month.
yeah. And then you don't do it the next month. They're like, oh, you laid down?
Yeah, you forgot how to sell cars or what?
Yeah.
So... but I do definitely want to have that success story that, okay, we set our goals out this month and we did it. So I'm gonna need you to sell 20 cars, right?
And bro, the thing is, I can. I just
I gotta hold you accountable as your bro. Like,
yeah, no, for sure, I can. And you know what it is I get mad at myself because it's me staying in my comfort zone, bro. I stay, bro. Look at my office.
You
bro.
used to sell service leads all the time at Cavender, and you've talked about it.
Yeah.
So I know that you can work a little bit of service, and I'm not saying to spend your whole day doing it. I'm not telling you to go stand in the service drive, but you know that our system can pull up who's coming in for an appointment, and you can make a few phone calls. If you have nothing else working, you can make 5-10 phone calls real quick to see if you can get somebody to come in and talk to you.
Yeah, I'm going to pull out my old script and then...
pull out the mastermind script.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can. I think it's just me, like, it's me getting uncomfortable, right? And I think it's me making excuses because I think, like, I have this, too, going on. So, like, I'm putting a little bit of time into this. And so it's just me like, oh, like I don't want to start too many things and like not finish them, So like I'm very much like trying to allocate my time a little bit more better, a little whatever, a little bit more wiser, I guess. Just because I know we're trying to do stuff like throughout the week too. Like we're trying to post like a clip every day or a 2 clips, every here and there. So it's kind of like with people with like ADHD, I hate to say it, bro, but like we think that if we have to do something like at 7:00, that means like we're gonna pretty much like make sure that 3:00 that we're free and then we have that going. And you know what's crazy about car sales too is that like sometimes people do show up early, sometimes people show up with unannounced, sometimes people come in and ask for, or at least for me, right? And if I don't plan for it, I feel like my mind's going fucking crazy. The other day, you found me in the lot. I was driving around a truck, and then you were like, "Hey, can you help me find this vehicle?" And I was like, yeah, sure, I guess, yeah." And then like, cause I felt like I had a bunch of people coming in, and then my day magically freed up a little bit more because one lady was like, "Yeah, you are too far," and then another dude was like, "Oh yeah, I can't find y'all's dealership, so I'm gonna turn around." Right, so those two happened, but I did sell that last one. But it's very much like if
did you sell that truck?
No, I didn't, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was working that one for a while. Yeah,
we never found the car, right?
Oh, the Jeep? No, we never did.
Yeah.
I don't know what they stole it. I guess it is what it is. But I think it's just me. I have systems in my head that I need to. I have habits that I need to break, and I need to make better ones. And
you can schedule your posts through Meta for your socials.
Yeah, I know. I need to figure that out because I can on my personal Instagram, but for some reason, I need to figure out what I did.
It wasn't
wrong.
working for our new account. We're not sure why. Even then, today we're supposed to be streaming on the new Jaime and Jay podcast, and then there's like
talk about that.
All of this fucking verification and shit that we couldn't do it on the new channel. Like They made me send them a video, and it's gonna take 24 hours for them to verify that I'm a real person. I'm like, oh fuck this. Like, you know, the next episode will be on there, right? I'll do all of this shit, but I didn't expect for that to come up. Like, so yeah, we're definitely figuring out, like, trying to get the Jaime and Jay stuff, you know, going, as well as our personal accounts. Just tell ChatGPT.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it's just we like all the stuff we need to figure out, because we, like, I think something happens and we don't figure it out, so we don't even look into how to fix it. We just think like, oh yeah, like there's a hole in this tire. Let's just put more fucking air in it and keep on running on a fucking tire with a hole in it, you know? So I think that's us being stuck in our ways, and so I definitely need to figure out what's going on, and I'm gonna fix it. We'll get it going, you know. It's finding out a way to be more I guess like better with our time. That's like going into my like time management goal and shit like that too. So I definitely need to figure it out. I just think that there's been a bunch of shit in my life right now that's like kind of make me going a little crazy, because it's just a bunch of moving parts that I need to find alignment with, you know.
Yeah, I think definitely I'm in the same boat right now. Doing that many cardios like that I've done, and it's like, oh fuck, like it is overwhelming. Like I definitely come home from work like more tired, and to sell, because you know last month I did fucking 12, and I'm at 11 like halfway through the month, like, and I didn't sell everybody that I talked to, so there was a bunch of like shit that I had to go through in order to get those sales, you know. So not only whenever you're like selling more cars, it's not like, oh yeah, like I just had like, it's not you're just adding on those deals, like you're adding on twice as much like not deals as well. Like I had to show a bunch of cars that didn't sell, you know. I had to talk to that many more people who didn't buy.
And not only that, bro, but like if you look at the, like, I'm very much a used car salesperson. I'm not a new, like I can sell a new car. New cars are easy to sell, but I primarily sell like 85% used cars. So the thing about selling used cars is that, one, we take them in on trade, and then we have to fix them.
Oh my god.
And so all the stuff that goes into selling a car, because I might sell a car on Monday, but it's weird because at our dealership, I don't know, I guess we don't hire enough techs or whatever it is, right? But we don't have enough people to fix these vehicles on time.
You know what's crazy is that here is like the problem with it is that everything is so fast paced here. But at my last dealership, whenever we got a trade in, it would take like a week or like a week and a half before you could sell it.
Oh, no, fuck no.
You know, like you weren't even allowed to test drive it before it went through the shop.
Bro, I've sold a car as soon as they parked it in the trailer. I say I've had a customer look at that car and say, I want that one. I'm like, all right, cool, let me go get the keys.
Yeah,
like,
you know, so our turnaround is actually pretty fast compared to my last dealership. But what I will say is we have a lot more techs. Like we had like 2 dudes doing all the cars at my last dealership, you know? And here it's like, man, we have a whole row of people that are doing this, and I feel like maybe like the systems in place, like they take too long to like get from one thing to another, you know. And then the thing is with the techs getting paid hourly, it benefits them to take longer on the car because they get paid the longer that they work on a vehicle.
Yeah, they're getting paid their hours and stuff like that. I know, bro.
You know, so but to us, it's like the longer that they take, it's taking money out of our pocket because it's more time we're spending trying to get this car ready, you know, or like we're delaying a deal because it hasn't gone through service yet.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is like a lot more work too whenever you're doing the youth cars, because fuck that's a motherfucker, you know. Like, that is another thing, too, because I've been selling a lot of used cars, is I would say, like, more than half of my deals is, like, I'm having to go fucking push this car through the process. Like, every little thing is, like, okay, can we get this done? Can we get this done? Can we get this done? Like,
bro, you know what? I think the techs, and then, like, the service advisors back there that we work with, they hate me, bro. They hate me, bro, because you see how I am, bro. Especially, like, when I get to the point where I don't give a fuck, I'm just, like, I'm like, why is this taking so long? I'm like, well, you could have knocked this out sooner. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes they'll tell me, like, oh, yeah, the tech was supposed to start it first thing in the morning. And I'll be like, hey, they told me you were supposed to start it first thing in the morning. Is it the morning that you were supposed to start it yet? Or when we going to start?
I just want to say, can you vouch for me real quick? Because you know, I told my girl, I was like, you know, like I've sold like 11 like cars this month. She's like, yeah, but you're just sitting there like picking up leads. Can you vouch for me that it's a lot more than that over there at the dealership? Like it is fucking like mind breaking shit trying to sell. Even if you picked up the lead, like trying to get the deal done and facilitated is like what the
because
fuck?
you're picking up.
You're having to
leads.
run around. Like you don't just like you don't pick up the lead and it's like, oh, okay, I did all the work on my computer. It's like no. Not at all. As soon as you pick it up, you got to run outside and get a video of it, right? So then I got to leave my desk, and then I got to come back, and then I got to go back up to the manager and go back and forth, right? And this is all throughout the day because it's not like everything's instant. It's like you get a text, oh, can you do this? Okay, and then I go up to the manager, and then I come back, and the customer doesn't text me for another 30 minutes. And then I got to go back up, and then I got to come back. Oh, and this other person wants a video. Okay, the car's not ready, hasn't been through service yet. Okay, so now we got to go have it checked out. And then you go over there, right, to go get it checked out, and the dude who's in charge of it's not there at his desk. Yeah, and now you got to go find him. Yes, or the keys are with the tech, and now you got to go find the tech. Or the vehicle is not where they said it was, and now you got to go find the vehicle. Like, it is just constant, like, running around a big-ass lot. And when it's hot as fuck outside, too.
And it's mind-fucking you, bro, because you're just like, bro, I'm like, how do y'all expect me to do this 30 times a month? Like, bro, and then another thing too, like, think about it. Yes, we're picking up leads, right? But the people who send leads in, they want to do everything over the phone. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to do all this work for them to be like, yeah, it's not the deal we want.
And not only that too, right? Is sometimes those deals take 3 times as long. Yeah. Why? Because the customer pulls up, they see the car, and it hasn't gone through service yet. So not only do you have to do everything once, you got to do it again whenever the car comes out of service. And God forbid, whenever it comes out of service, it's missing something and they don't want to take it like that.
Yeah.
So now you got to do it again. Now you got to put it back into service and then set up another appointment. So you've talked to this person 3 times for a deal that you've put so much work into the car, it's not even making money anymore because you had to repair so much stuff on it. And you've done it 3 times. Not only that, you had to spend time talking to them over the phone. It's like you worked that deal like 5 times over. You worked it once over the phone, once in person, once over the phone again, another time in person, and then the car's finally ready, and then you got to deliver it.
Yeah,
but it's like 5 car deals in one.
If I only had to worry about just convincing the customer to buy the car, I'd be a 60-car guy, bro. Like, just put me in front of a customer, you know? But it's not that easy. Mm-hmm. I got to convince somebody to buy a car. I got to convince the manager to sell a car. I got to convince the technicians to fix the car, you know? Like, I'm like, bro, like, what the fuck are we doing, bro? It's a lot. It's not easy. It's very much something that after doing it 20 times a month or 15 or however many times you can get to do it a month, you kind of like, you kind of hate that idea that you have to do it again.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely not something that comes easy.
It's definitely not just sitting at the computer. Oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, the lead came in, everything's great. Like, you know, and most of the leads that come in
are bullshit.
Dog, not only that are bullshit, but like the ones that you have to respond to, they're always new units. Nobody's ever fucking inquiring on like an old age unit that's like there, it's done, it's ready. Like the very, very rarely are those the ones that people respond to. Usually whenever someone's putting in a lead, it's because that unit just got put online. And they just saw it and something looking, oh, I've been looking for this car. Yeah, and then you go to the thing and it's like, you look at the car, it says 0 days old. And it's like, oh, God, here we go.
Can you send me more pictures? There's no pictures online. Well, yeah, because we just got it
yesterday. You walk up to the car, it hasn't been detailed, it's all dirty, there's a bunch of trash, and you know who has to be the trash man and clean up the car so it looks nice in the video? You.
Bro, yes, bro.
You got to take it to the back, throw it up, put it through the wash yourself, right? And then, you know, send the video to the customer. Like, it is a lot more than just sitting at the computer and answering the phone. Oh, hey, you want this car? Oh, yeah? Okay, deal done. Like,
you know what's the worst, too, is whenever you do all that stuff, you clean the car, you wash it, and I'll do all that stuff, right? And then the next guy who gets the next lead on it takes a video after you already cleaned it up. And then their customer is there that same day to buy it.
Yeah.
I've had that happen, and it pisses me off, dog.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%, yeah. I've been taking the video of the car and then somebody's walking up like,
hey, you got the keys for this car?
Yeah. Oh, you got the keys already. I was looking for them. Yeah, can you hand them over to me? My customers here. They want to see this.
After you already put the air fresheners and shit in there, right? Wipe down the windows and shit. It's definitely, what did she say?
She said, I'm not trying to knock you down. Lots of trash leads and working at these circus clowns.
Yeah. Imagine, like, I I very much wish like it was like, oh, Elite came in. Yeah, I'm on the way. Like it's never like that. It's never like that.
Yeah.
If anything, maybe the phone pops, but even the phone pops are still a little bit little hard to work sometimes. You know, they're iffy. But it's Are we going over on time? Oh damn, maybe we are.
Oh yeah, just a little bit. I think yeah. I mean, we talked about our sales goals. We talked about I mean, a little bit on our personal goals, right? I'm supposed to make a song this month. Fuck it. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm sorry, right? Maybe I'll drop a song.
I mean, yeah, I could do that too.
I can at least do something with music, right? And then our fitness goals. I mean, you've been in the gym. Everything been like solid.
Yeah, I think the
I
only
missed all week. I'll be honest with you. After my birthday, fuck, I didn't hit one.
bro, your birthday fucking. That's what it was, bro. Your birthday fucked me that Monday when I know you took the day off, bro, but I don't drink. And then all your homies they're probably all younger than me, bro. I don't drink, but I was very much like, oh, it's my homie's birthday. Like we gotta go all out, right? So I was like, yeah, let's buy some shots, let's do some drinks, whatever it was, bro. Like, and then there was a lot of alcohol too quick, and bro, I think I was singing some karaoke songs way off tune, but you know we had a good time. The next day though was very very hard for me to get out of bed. I think I was 2 hours late to work because I was ready to tell them like, you know, it's either I'm there late or I'm there not at all. Like, what do you want, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that just fucked up. It fucked up my whole week, you know. But hey, it is what it is, and we're gonna.
You know what? I was kind of worried about that too, because I was like, fuck, like I was worried that you had kind of like a long trip to go home, you know, because you don't live on this side of town, and I was like, fuck. But I think that Louis told me that he had talked to you and that you had like got home and shit, and I was like, oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, shout out Louis. Louis told me like I had to text him, so yeah, he was checking up on me, and we're good.
But I definitely was worried, and then the next day too, I was like, fuck. You know, I know Brandon. Brandon was like, he babysat the whole night because he knew he's like, oh, I gotta drive home and all of this stuff, right? But you were going off with everybody else, right? And most of the other like people, they just spent the night at my house, right? And besides like the dealership folk, but I know that you had like a real long trip, so I'm glad that you made it home okay. And yeah, it definitely was pretty fucking. I almost folded. I almost threw up. Like I towards the end of the night, I laid down and then I told my girl, I said, hey, go get the little trash can and put it next to the bed just in case I turned up. Yeah. And me and my girl woke up and fuck, I felt terrible. She's like, oh, you think you want to go to the gym? I was like, fuck, no. My joints were hurting. Like here, like it felt like what are these called? Not like the joints, but like the band. Yeah, the tendons, I guess.
The bands.
What feels like rubber bands in your body, like they were fucking horrible, bro. Like behind my legs, it was bad. Like as I was walking around everywhere, I just felt super tight. But I had to get it out of my system, right? We drank for like the one time a year that I get fucked up like that, and then throughout the year, I pretty much like barely drink. I mean, maybe I'll have like half a beer going out to the bar, but for the most part, I really don't drink too much.
Yeah, and then we sing some beautiful tunes.
Yeah. So, but I went to the gym today. I'm gonna be back into it consistently this week. But I did take the week off. It was also very, very busy.
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes you have goals. You have to put other goals on the back burner sometimes.
And I have both my off days like back to back too. So it was Sunday and then recovery like after, and then I didn't have a day off during the week. So and I worked a shit ton of bell-to-bells.
Yeah. So that's the thing about the car business, bro. It's very hard to have balance in your life, but you know, if you want it bad enough, you'll find the balance.
All right, I think we can end it here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. I'm glad that we showed up. You know, consistency is key. Hopefully next week the new episode will be on the new Jaime and Jay podcast channel, and you know we'll be back at it. If you guys have any questions or want us to talk about any topics for next week's episode, please let us know.
Yeah, hit us up on any socials and make it easy for us. We're definitely open to hearing what y'all want to hear from us. So, yeah, hit